You are listening to a My Dream Catalyst audio recording of Why Humanity Suffers If You Don't Claim Your Dreams, written by Mary R. Miller, presented by the author. If you died tomorrow, what would you be remembered for? What legacy would you leave behind? And what would your impact be? As humans, we have many things in common. We all have a limited time on this planet, and none of us really knows how much time that is. And when you listen to an audio recording with the title, Why Humanity Suffers If You Don't Claim Your Dreams, I have to assume that you care about the legacy that you leave behind. And you know, there is a plethora of inspirational and motivational messages all around us. These messages may make us feel good, may make us feel like complete failures, or quite frankly, they might actually just annoy us. I mean, even Nike tells you what to do. They don't say just do it so you can buy a poster. They actually expect you to just do it while wearing their shoes. And if this was effective, a lot more of us would be just doing it. As a society, we have accepted that claiming your dreams is only for a select few. It's a privilege thing. It's a talent thing. It's not an average person thing. And as a society, we tell you how to dream. Dream big. Your dream should scare you. A dream is defined as something that requires you to go all in. Oh, and it's not a real dream unless it actually consumes you. And that's what our role models teach us. If your dream is taking over your life, then, well, you're doing it right. But not all dreams are like that. Not all dreams consume you. Not all dreams demand that you put everything and everyone in your life on hold. Not all dreams set your soul on fire, but many set your soul free. Some dreams simply make you smile. Some satisfy your natural curiosity. Some dreams take only moments, and some take a lifetime. Dreams fulfill you because you get to do something you love, because you get to use your gifts that God gave you. And when you're fulfilled, something magical happens. You give back. You help other people. You have the energy to contribute to society. If you don't claim your dreams, humanity suffers because you are the solution to somebody else's problem. You are the missing piece in somebody else's puzzle, the missing link. Because you are the only one who can do what you do the way that you do it. You matter. And until you believe that, you'll remain separated from your dreams. Wrong slide. You see, this interest became a dream. I didn't quit my job to claim this dream. In fact, the paycheck from my job, which I really like, allowed me to fund this dream. And this whole process was a journey. While there have been and continue to be many people who helped me along the way, there have been a handful of people in my life who instilled in me the beliefs I needed to claim this particular dream. These wonderful men and women were able to give back and pour into me because they were fueled by their own dreams. Now we're on to the right slide. So the story starts with Mr. Ogle. Mr. Ogle was my 9th grade civics teacher. Mr. Ogle loved kids. He was wise and had this uncanny ability to read people. And at 15, I was shy, and my strategy was to fly under the radar. I wanted to be invisible, just like this picture. And that was my preferred superpower. And as if junior high isn't bad enough, I was at a new school in my new life. Everything had changed since my parents' divorce and my dad's remarriage. My confidence was shattered. But then Mr. Ogle selected me, and he picked me out of the class to be the lead juror in our class's mock trial. He saw me, he picked me out of the crowd, and he took me out from behind the scenes. He helped build my confidence. Because Mr. Ogle decided to follow his dream to help kids become more, Mr. Ogle helped instill in me the belief that I am enough. Fast forward to high school, and you'll meet Mrs. Schubert. She was my 11th grade English teacher, and I've always had this issue with my mind going faster than my hands or my voice. I couldn't spell and grammar. Well, I didn't understand that, and honestly, I still don't. I'm a really good editor. But I love creative writing. I wrote all the time, songs, poems, short stories, but I stopped showing people because I was embarrassed because they made fun of me. But not Mrs. Schubert. She encouraged me. She had this gift for helping her students grow by first meeting them where they were. She was kind and knew what to say when. She taught me how to listen to my gut, be myself, and let my imagination run wild. She knew how to praise and how to give feedback while building up. Mrs. Schubert instilled in me the belief that I am a great writer. My second job out of college was with a company called AVL. After about 3 years, and after they paid for my MBA, I thought I knew it all. Shortly after I received my MBA, I put in my 2 weeks' notice to move on to a company where I thought the grass was greener. As my last day approached, the CEO and vice president asked me to meet them. To kick off the conversation, the CEO asked me something like this. "So I heard you don't like us." My need to be honest and advocate for others overruled my dad's sage advice to never burn bridges, especially at work. So my answer was, with a little bit more attitude than I probably should have emphasized, "Do you really want to know?" And the CEO said yes, he did. Because instead of seeing an indignant 20-something, he saw passion and opportunity. He listened to my feedback about the issues I saw with our company culture. Then he asked me this: "Do you want to stay and help fix this?" I was not expecting that question, nor the leadership position which followed. I said yes and stayed another few years. The CEO, Don, who decided to leave his corporate job to follow his dream of running a small business, instilled in me the belief that I am a change agent. Scott and Susie Middleton are two dear people. I miss them very much and think about them often. Myself and the world have been without them for a number of years. The three of us ran the college and career ministry at our church. Susie suffered from debilitating depression, which eventually took her life. Yet in that struggle, she gave all she had to others. When I had knee surgery, she texted me every day to see if I was okay, to make sure that I wasn't lonely, to make sure that I wasn't depressed. And then there was her husband, Scott, a gifted web designer and the most giving and laid-back person I've ever met. He built others up simply by being present and listening. Both Scott and Susie used their gifts, knowledge, and abilities to pour into others. That was their dream, and they lived it every day, in every facet of their lives. They opened their home to those who were turned away, 20-somethings who had nowhere else to turn, husbands who had messed up and been kicked out of the house by their wives. They always reminded me of Christ. Both Scott and Susie instilled in me the belief that I have a responsibility to help others. Not all of my beliefs were formed by people I've actually met. There are 2 books that have changed my life. The first is The Shack, written by William P. Young, given to me by a client who keeps multiple copies on hand simply because this book changed his life. And William had no intention of publishing this book. He actually wrote it for his daughters. But his friends, after reading it, persuaded him to self-publish. 9 years later, this book has gone on to sell over 10 million copies, changing many lives, including mine. The second book is Hind's Feet on High Places, written in 1955 by author Hannah Hurnad. This book took me to the depths of my soul to help me work through hurts and find healing. I don't have enough time to tell you how much this book impacted my life. The thing is, though, both William P. Young and Hannah Hurnad instilled in me the belief that stories change people. I am enough. I am a great writer. I am a change agent. I have a responsibility to help others. Stories change people. These 5 beliefs and my faith in God helped me to claim my dream of publishing a book. They were beliefs I chose on a daily basis so I could overcome the many obstacles on the path to claiming this dream. And to illustrate for you just how impactful our beliefs are, I'm going to take some tips from one of the world's favorite movies, It's a Wonderful Life. So let's look at how could my story have turned out if these wonderful people did not claim their dreams, if they didn't use their gifts and believed that that their dreams were for people like them. I'll tell you how I think it would have gone. In junior high, when I met who would have been my high school boyfriend, I would have declined a date with him, believing I wasn't good enough to date a football player. Without his influence, I wouldn't have focused on my studies. I wouldn't have talked my way into the accelerated math and science program at school after being told I would fail. It's likely that without studying to distract my mind, that depression would have gripped me. It's highly likely that I would have moved out with an older, controlling boyfriend and not finished high school at all. I would not have met my wonderful husband, since I would not have gone to college. Without the belief that I am a great writer, I may have stopped writing altogether, leading to a breakdown in my 30s due to lack of creative relief. I would not have started my Dream Catalyst in 2013. I would have not written or shared my short story with anyone because I would have been too embarrassed. And there's no way in hell I would have published a book for the world to read. Without the belief that I am a change agent and that I have a responsibility to help others, I would not have pushed myself every day to get out of bed to stay in a leadership position for the bulk of my career. I would have avoided the anxiety from making decisions, having to speak up, and resolve conflict. I would not have helped my employees grow and take risks. I would not have learned how much I love to advise, to coach, and to advocate for others. I would not have had the motivation or the courage to overcome my fear of being out there in the public eye when it came time to talk about the book I had written. Without the belief that stories can change people, I would have quit midstream trying to publish my book when my printer went out of business and closed its doors. I would have folded when I gave feedback that book needed work. I wouldn't have believed that overcoming these obstacles was even worth it. I tell you this story so you can see yourself in it, so you can see how others have helped you by living their dream in their own way. I tell you this story so you can think about your own story. There's nothing more special about me than there is about you. We are both uniquely gifted. That is why neither of us can afford to simply go through the motions in life. There's just simply too much at stake. People are waiting for you and I to show up in all facets of life. If you died tomorrow, what would you be remembered for? What legacy would you leave behind? What would your impact be? You know, these simply are not the right questions. Because while your dreams will ultimately help humanity, they first have to help you. They have to fulfill you. They have to empower you. Fear does a bad job with sustainable motivation. Instead, ask these questions. What makes you smile? What are your interests? Is there anything holding you back from believing that you matter? Because you matter, you know. We all do. And that belief is how we make dreams an average person thing. Thank you very much.